All right, I think we're live now. So this is GG Mega Game 17, and back with another Mega Game Hangout. And today I have making his grand debut. This is your first time on a live stream, right?
Roman Chains
Yeah.
is the
All right, hold on. Let me fix that. All right, sorry about that. I always forget to do that. But yes, we have Roman Chains making his great debut on, I guess, any live stream really.
yeah.
So tell everybody about yourself. So what is it that you do? This thing muted. Hello? Hmm. Guess he left. Oh well. Anyway, this is probably not going to be a long stream, just a short one. See if he's going to come back. Hmm. Let's see what's going on here. Just a moment. Are you coming back? Because that was kind of odd. All right. Yes. All right. So we'll be back on the swing of things in a moment. Guess while that's happening, I'm going to share the stream. Remember to rate, comment, subscribe. What else? Let's see what's happening here. All right, you back?
Hi,
What
can I be
happened?
heard?
Yeah, you. Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, cool. So, what's happening?
Not much, really. Oh, all right. You showed up. Okay. All right. So we just went live. So we have Yusuf now. How's it going, man?
Um, I must admit, I was looking forward to being able to come on in the event of the last couple of days in terms of releases. So, I was hoping to catch some Dragon Ball Super tonight before I came on, but that didn't work out. So I'll probably be able to enjoy that after the stream.
All right. All right. So well, what have you been up to?
In terms of,
Anything, I guess.
Well, seeing that I'm still breathing, I don't think I have much of an issue with that. That's not a bad thing. I've been busy with work and school stuff. Spent a lot of time studying today for the GREs. So you know, this is a nice way to end the night.
All right. All right. I haven't looked at the Dramble Super thing yet.
I believe tonight's episode is supposed to be where Frieza gets to have his bang outs.
All right.
So, I mean, if you want to see, if this was your, how would I describe it? If this was your dream team up of Goku and Frieza, you'd have your wish tonight.
Yeah, I guess.
So, what's going on your end? Everything's cool with you?
Yeah. Oh yeah. By the way, sorry about yesterday. I had some technical difficulties.
Uh, Yesterday was a blur. I know you did reach out to me yesterday. I just don't. It would have been fun. I think yesterday it kind of worked out because I did get in late. So the fact that we're able to do it today probably is best.
Yeah. Actually, yesterday was like someone else's stream, but I don't know. It's kind of weird because the whole issue was the funny thing is I had to download Google Chrome so I could get on someone else's stream.
How is that anyway?
That's all right. But the thing is, I can still. All right, hold on. Anyway, I can still make live streams off of this regular Internet Explorer, but I guess to jump on other people's stream, I have to use Google Chrome.
Okay, so what's the difference between Google Hangouts and then having to use Google Pro?
No, I had to use Google Chrome to use
Oh, Google Chrome. Okay. So generally I have issues because I can't get onto Hangouts through Firefox. I have to use Internet Explorer.
I don't know. It's kind of weird because the for some reason the plugin wouldn't work.
Right, that's the issue. The plugin doesn't work on Firefox. So I have to revert to Internet Explorer. That's
I
one of
think
the reasons that I was having issues. You've invited me several times and I wanted to come on and I didn't know until maybe within the last month what the issue was. So once I figured out who the culprit was or what the culprit was behind me being able to come on, I've been able to come on.
I think that's just Google though.
All right, well, that's not a problem. So what's on the docket for tonight?
I don't know. Let's see. Have you watched E3?
I've seen snippets. I was able to see some of the DBZ Dragon Ball Fighter Z. That was a attention grabber.
Hmm. Well, I was mainly trying to follow the what you call the Square Enix one. But that was pretty awful. So
I didn't get to see much of that, unfortunately, because E3 was going on when I was stuck at my office desk. So I saw snippets of the Nintendo. I saw snippets of I said the Nintendo. I saw snippets of Nintendo's stream. On YouTube. I got to see Spider-Man Arkham Neighborhood, which was outstanding. Um, and as I said, I got to see some of the Dragon Ball, how that was going to look, and that looked great. So overall, I think I had a decent viewing of E3. Perhaps in some couple of weeks, I'll be able to take it all in. I'll be taking a little time where I'll be able to really soak it in all. Um, I'm still looking forward to the day when I can get my hands on Tekken 7. Uh, I've always been a fan of the Tekken franchise. Was always too broke to be able to get into it because I couldn't. My folks would never let me get uh, PlayStation because I was so expensive. So I can finally put my own money together to get that, and that's going to be pretty fun to get into that.
I've only played the first Tekken game, so
I, I've been able to play. My first exposure really to Tekken was probably Tekken 4. I've probably touched older versions of Tekken briefly, but Tekken 4 is really where it started for me.
hmm what was it, on the PS4?
No,
I mean
Tekken
two.
4. Yes, exactly. Yes,
Yeah,
I
that's what
went.
I did.
I went over to a good friend of my mother's, and her son happened to have Tekken there, and we started playing. And I found out that I like playing with King, and so that really started everything. And um, always wanted to get Tekken, and I'm looking forward to now at some point getting Tekken. Uh, Looking to use it. That's going to be a reward for all the work that I'm doing. I'll get that for myself.
All right. Any other games you want to get?
Uh, Maybe just 2K18. I don't need a whole lot. If it's not a fighting game or if it's not a basketball game, maybe some racing games. That's about it.
Okay.
And by the way, part of my voice, I'm just being respectful for family members who are, you know, here and there and about. So, again, if this was a little early in the day, I'd probably speak a lot louder. But
Yeah, I tried to do it at night, but it didn't work out that way. So
I understand. So we'll do what we can.
yeah, yeah, because I'm trying to I do want to start these a little early, I guess, but we'll see how that works out.
Yeah, I was ready to go at 9. I was literally sitting. I was refreshing my page. You would have been proud of me. I was ready to rock, man.
Just sorry about that. Computer started trying to do nonsense again. I had to shut that down. So
I understand.
no, 'cause that's what happened last week.
Ah, okay.
No, because Brady he was ready to do the stream too, and then everything was ready to go, and then the internet messed up, so then I had to basically restart it, and then I had to sign back in, but then I I didn't get the password right, and I couldn't find it.
Uh, well, that. But hopefully, though, as the more and more that we do this, we'll be able to smooth those things out and be able to get it in a little earlier.
Well, yeah, I would hope so.
Did you have anybody else that you were thinking of inviting to come on tonight?
Actually, there was one person that came in earlier, but he left. He's kind of shy, and it's kind of late where he's at because he's like in another country.
Ah, where is he coming from?
I don't know. I think it's like um somewhere in Europe. I think.
Okay, but this is someone that you've streamed with before.
No, actually,
Oh, it's your first time with that person.
yeah, but he's been he you could say he's kind of been hyping up going on these streams for a while.
He's been hyping up who?
I guess you could say he's been kind of hyping himself up getting on the stream for a while.
Oh, okay.
It's just that he had like some like technical issues.
Oh, okay. So I was hoping to get onto the stream that you had the other day where there was a couple of other people. I generally found those to be more fun just hearing different perspectives and hearing people trade theories and say, no, 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 that's why that dude is OP'd or things like that. That's kind of fun to me.
Yeah, I tried to get some of those people that was on yesterday on here, but it's probably not gonna happen because it's kind of late now.
Well, unless you got folks on the West Coast.
You know what? After the stream, I'm going to send you a link to that stream because it was on another person's channel. You all right? You're part of 420K room, right?
I believe so, yes.
Well, the guy that does that channel, that was his live stream. I mean that, yeah,
Ah,
yeah. He actually does like top strongest list videos.
so you're talking about, okay, I got you. Got you.
He goes by you get to 420K.
Oh, okay, so that's the same name I would see on the YouTube channel?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Got you covered. So yeah, man, I saw you were trolling in Brago's stream.
Before we get to that, there was another guy that was on you guess the stream. He also does top list videos. He's actually like the original person to do it.
Okay.
He he doesn't. I think he's only been on my stream like once or twice because he's more cool than Mugetsu.
Oh, I see.
But if you want to debate stuff like that, he's actually a good person to debate with,
I don't know if I want to debate, but more so just appreciate
or
the
just discuss stuff.
right. Yes, I got
He,
you there.
yeah. So you guys is probably going to be doing the streams more consistently now. So hopefully, it's probably going to be on Fridays. So this is
Okay,
probably how it's going to be. Like his streams are going to be on Fridays, and mine going to be on Saturdays, and they're probably going to be around the same time, like 9, 10, maybe 8, like somewhere between that time period.
I
So
got you.
if you're available, I'll try to get you on one of them.
No, Fridays and Saturdays now have been
You're good with
solidly
them, right?
good days. Those have
All
been
right,
good days for me.
all right, cool.
Before, not so much.
Yeah, well, usually during school time, a lot of people are busy in general.
No,
Even
for
if
me it's just general work, right? Because I'm always, unless I take vacay time, I'm Monday through Fridays I'm locked in.
yeah, but that's what I mean. Though even for people who aren't going to school, usually school around school time, people are still busy anyway with work and stuff. So it's fine. Although I know Brady hasn't unfortunately hasn't had a lot of free time. Unfortunately,
I would say that's almost a good thing. That probably means he's advancing more in what he's trying to do.
yeah,
But at the same time, we do need our Brody.
yeah, Brady. Yeah. Like I said, it would have been cool if he was able to do it last week because he would have been able to do it. But shenanigans happen.
Mm,
Uh, Go Google shenanigans, really.
that is true. It's almost like trying to play without lag. It's part of the experience.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, okay, about this Brago stream thing. Well, which one was it he was talking about?
I believe it was either the live reaction to 869 or no. I know it's one way. This is kind of vague because it's like, yo,
Right.
you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. So I think it was either that, or the problem is it was probably one of those streams where Ty was going crazy, which is like every other stream. Nah, let's be frank, that's every stream. So one of those. But I know for certain you were on and they commented particularly towards you. I was watching it at work, so that they kind of blend in. I sort of marathon them, but I was surprised when I saw you on. And I think you also commented about Big Mom not getting her proper due.
I think I was on both those streams. Okay, yes, I've been kind of trolling a lot lately, which is funny because depending on who's streaming, I will I'm kind of becoming like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde on YouTube now. Like if I'm on like so for example, I've been following this guy. He does like video game streams, but the main one I've been following like is his Final Fantasy stuff. Like I'll be like a nice guy on that one. I'd be helping him out and stuff.
No, but Braga stream, it's built for that almost.
Yeah, no, I'll get to that. So look, on this other guy's stream, I'm a nice guy and stuff. I'd be helping him out just in case, like like, try to get all the stuff if he forgets stuff because he has forgotten some things. So I'll help him out on that. But when it comes to Brago streams, that's a whole nother situation. I'm just like, all right, time to troll.
Right, it brings the inner troll out in you. That's what it's there for.
Yes. But here's the thing, I wasn't even trying to fully troll. I was being somewhat serious when I was saying it just came off as trolling, and then I just jumped in. I was like, you know what? Let me go troll, okay? But I'm dropping facts though. All right, so yeah, they were calling me out. They was like, "Oh, this guy's an idiot." You know, I ignored that stuff. I was like, "All right, you gonna call me an idiot? Fine, all right, that's fine. You're gonna say I'm a moron. You're gonna say I don't know what I'm talking about. All right, fine." But they did not rebuttal what I was saying. So basically, what I was saying in the streams was that yes, I don't think Big Mom was the whole issue is that people. There's this whole debate right now with within the community right now with Big Mom not getting her respect or whatever. Of people downplaying Big Mom.
Right.
And what I was saying is that I would say like, well, the problem with that is that the reason why she's kind of getting disrespected is because there's several factors to that. Because the thing is that a lot of people say, well, it's just a fan base, and I'm just like, I don't think it's fully the fan base here. I think some of it really is just the writing of, behind Big Mom. Okay, here's the thing. If you've watched Outer Haven streams, I've been trolling those two lately. Although there's some people that are agreeing with me, despite how trollish I am, and because Outer Haven is also associated with Brago too, and they kind of jump on each other's streams or whatever. Because Outer Haven, he does his live streams like between like 5 to 7 o'clock on Thursdays, sometime after the chapter comes out.
Okay, so he tries to get that. He tries to be as close to the release as possible. Post-release.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Plus, he also wants to get them out before
everybody else.
Before like Brago does his, so I guess he could be on it.
Okay.
Because think about it. It's like if me and you both doing live streams. Would you not want to get your stream out before I do mine? If he's gonna do one on the same day?
Right, you don't want them to conflict, and that way that would free you up to probably go on the other person's stream.
Yeah, exactly. It's basically like that. So on both these streams, I've been talking about this, and some of the people that's in the chat on Brago stream is also on Outer Haven stream, which is also why by the time you got to Brago stream, they would just crappy on me because I already established myself as this troll beforehand. It's like, it's this guy again.
But I don't know. It seems like you were relishing in that moment, man.
It's hilarious. That's why. Yes, I do relish on it. Yes, it brings out the worst in me. I will say that.
I don't know if it's the worst. I just brought out a side I didn't know. I wasn't exposed to. Yeah, when you're on your stream, you sort of just moderate and let things happen. There, you don't have to worry about anything. You just say what you need to say.
Yeah, I just do shit.
Right, you say it's on my channel.
Well, even if it's on my channel, I'm still going to do randoms. But I don't know. But here's the thing: if I have a point I feel like I need to get across, I'm gonna get it across.
True. Now, is it possible that I could elaborate on that point that you made in regards to the
Big Mom thing?
Perception, yes.
All right, before you do that, let me explain what I was saying.
Sure.
So that way you can really get into it. All right, so here's the thing. Everybody's saying like yeah, everybody's coming like big, you know people are having issues with Big Mom right now because because first is the whole people saying she's the weakest Yako, and then they also having the issue with her being as strong she was as a 5-year-old just because, or at least they want a like actual explanation other than well she's just strong just because. And and going to the whole weakest Yako issue, I was just like, well, here's the thing. My whole thing was the reason why I think people are seeing her as that is for several reasons. But one is her character design, because she's big and fat, so there's that problem.
Mm,
Although that one I really don't. That one I do believe is more of the fans, though. That one I would agree with. Then you have also the other issue, which is I guess it's more of a controversial issue. I don't really like, get into, but I didn't really mention this, but some people have, and that's the fact she's a female.
okay.
But the other points kind of go back to the first two, which is this is all my personal thoughts. I don't think she was built up as well as she could have been. That's that.
Okay.
That was my whole thing. What I was saying. I'm saying I don't think she was built up as well as like the other Yonko. I don't think she was hyped up as much as the other Yonko. I didn't say this as much, but I did want to also say that I do feel like she's kind of just being used as a stepping stone for Kaido.
Could you explain further on that particular point?
Basically, that if you really notice, all these arcs that we've been in so far, like throughout the New World, it's been building up to Kaido, and this Big Mom thing feels more like a side quest than anything else.
Hmm. Well, in regards to that, I wouldn't say that was been a side quest. In some ways, she was one of the people that we intended to run into all along since Fishman Island. So it's a fulfillment of between her and Luffy that they would meet.
Yes.
The manner in which they're meeting now is a little different. She sort of forced the issue. She made that without realizing it, but she made that situation. So I would disagree in the sense that she's a stepping stone to Kaido. She's just happens to be en route for the Straw Hats to Kaido. That's a little different.
But you know what I'm saying, right?
I'm not sure if I do, because it sounds like you're saying they're the One Piece crew is just like, all right, we definitely gonna go for Doflamingo, and then we're gonna mess up Big Mom, and then we're gonna go to Kaido. Like that's kind of how we had it planned out. And I don't feel like that's what it was. I don't see, based on the writing, that's how it was. It seems like it's just the events are lining up such that it appears that way.
No, what I mean is that I feel like no, I'm saying is that I feel like the big like this is what I'm basically saying. I'm saying like Big Mom feels more like an appetizer, and Kaido feels like the main course in terms of who they're trying to deal with right now. Well, Yonko is concerned.
Well, if she is an appetizer, which is kind of ironic if you think about it because of where they're at.
Yes. That wasn't intended, by the way.
I understand.
That just happened that way.
Right. Wait, which is alluding to the points that well, here's the thing. If she is an appetizer, they are not ready for the main course. They should literally just stop, thank everybody for the good night that they've had so far, and leave before they have to cash that big check.
Yeah. Okay, but here's another issue I've been noticing too. All right. You was watching Bronco stream. There's this guy named Dustin. I'm not sure, but he's been going around on Bronco stream saying that not only is Luffy going to beat Big Mom in this arc, that he's going to solo her.
I understand his reasoning, as he said, as the main character. That's sort of, and you could say we've been conditioned to take that on in shonen manga, going back as far as DBZ.
Yeah.
More recent for me, I would say Hunter x Hunter, Naruto.
I can't really say Hunter x Hunter because the way Hunter x Hunter works is different because they don't always beat the main villain if you really think about it.
Well, The last time we saw Gon before he lost his Nen, he most certainly took care of business.
Yeah, but Pito's not the main villain though.
That
That's
was the main villain for Gon. Remember, the personal tie between Gon and Kite made that the number one priority for him.
yeah, but honestly, yeah. Okay, here's the thing. You can look like that. That's his personal villain, but if you really think about it, Miriam really was the main villain of the arc, and he only. I think they only like crossed paths like once in the entirety of the arc, which is hilarious to me.
Right. But again, I how I see it, that's probably how it was supposed to go in the sense of Gon got matched up with the person that meant the most to him.
Yeah, one the henchman. I'm not. I still think that's. I think that's an interesting route Togashi went though.
No, it makes sense because Gon wasn't ready for that. Um,
Miriam.
and
Yeah.
he literally had to take on an oath that basically Rob should have killed him in order to defeat Neferpitou. So, and the only reason why he was able to achieve that was because of the sheer rage and anger that he had towards that person.
Yeah, he went anti Super Saiyan.
So, to then say that he would be able to muster everything he had to take on Miriam, one, probably wouldn't have made much of a difference, and two, probably would have never been achieved because the
Uh,
venom wasn't there.
but even if it was, I still think he would lose because I do think Miriam's just stronger than him. I know
Right.
Ito said that he was equal to like Miriam, but that's only like base form Miriam. Post Rose Miriam was stronger than Gon.
Post what?
Post Rose, the post explosion.
Yes, 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 yes. We sort of knew that. But here's
Because
I would compare it also to say when Jiraiya had to come in for Naruto with the Akatsuki and basically was willing to sacrifice himself in that regard. Where at the point in time where the character is at, they got matched up with the opponent that they can at least compete with. And that's what I mean. Luffy, we don't know if he can compete yet with
I
Big
don't
Mom.
I don't think he can. And here's my problem with it. I feel like if Luffy beat solos her, it's gonna be bad writing because you see how he struggled against not even like not even just Doflamingo, but like Cracker, who seems to be on par with Doflamingo or maybe slightly stronger than him. If Luffy had to like unlock a new form just to beat him and still needed help from Nami and the homies to beat Cracker, who's only the third Sweet Commander, it's gonna seem ridiculous for him to be able to solo Big Mom going like above two other commanders to do that. That's my issue with it. Like if Luffy performed better against like Cracker or like Fodderized or whatever, then maybe him like soloing Big Mom would be a little more believable.
Well, I would argue that this is to show the difference between the Grand Line and the New World. That in general, all your fights are going to be tough. Luffy will not have any breaks. So to want him to fatherize, I think would be failing to pay attention to the situation that they're in. The New World is filled with beasts, outright beasts. So there will be no fatherizing of anybody. Every fight will be a struggle. The question is how much of a struggle, right? What Luffy had to deal with was one, he was already playing in someone's home field advantage off top. That whole situation was set up and designed in those woods for him to
That's
lose. The fact that he was able to win with just basically assistance from two people when he's going up against basically an entire region filled with enemies that know the terrain and are looking to do harm. And he still came out of that relatively okay. Should be more impressive than him necessarily fodderizing Cracker. He won in spite of a lot of different types of influences. So if we pay attention to how these things work, we'd be able to appreciate what he's doing more.
yeah, but still, I also the other problem I also think I just don't I just also feel like if Luffy soloed Big Mom now, also, I just think that would kind of lessen the threat of the Yonkos.
Hmm. I don't mind if he fights her one on one. I don't mind if he actually beats her. Um, the problem would be for me is how is he continuing to go into other people's territories and win so cleanly without his full complement of crewmates? I think it would be different if he had his full complement of crewmates and he did that. I think I'd appreciate it a bit more. I'd enjoy seeing the matchups and how that would show that his crew, not just him alone, but his crew, are truly ready for the new world.
Actually, his whole like I don't want to say his whole fleet per se, but like even like his alliance with Law, they're not. He's not there either.
Say it one more time. I couldn't hear that.
I said like even like well, not necessarily his whole fleet per se, but like his alliance with Law, like him and his crew, they're not even there either.
Right.
So
And
it's
he's
like
sort of, and the only reason why he's getting by is because he just happened to have a happenstance alliance with Bege. So that's a little different. He's fortunate to even be in the situation that he is, even
yeah,
though the situation's just turned flat or on their face right now.
which I'm actually happy about because one of the other things I was kind of going in the comment sections about was the whole. The other reason why people are getting at me because I said that because I've told you this before. I have issues with this arc. I said this arc is like a 5 out of 10. Huh?
Nah, that was my dad. No.
Oh.
That one. I got it. Continue, sorry.
Yeah, I was saying that this arc. I was saying I had issues with this arc. I said this arc is like a 5 out of 10. I was saying it's subpar. Although that's not as bad as what Outer Haven said. He said this arc is complete other garbage.
Is it garbage because there's been lack of action, or has it been garbage because it's just not who we wanted?
Well, for what Outer Haven was saying, I think he just has a problem with everything that's happened in this arc. But me personally, like I said, the biggest issue I have is just something Mugiwara Mappy also talked about and Braco is the plot conveniences. Like I said before, I think the plot conveniences I think has been the worst it's ever was in this arc. Like
Yeah, go on. I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you.
yeah, the plot. Yeah, so the plot conveniences they just I thought they just been too much. Like they kind of been getting out of things unscathed in a sense. Like I was saying, like with the whole Jinbei thing, he kind of just like when he tried to leave the crew, which he kind of did to Big Mom, I think twice, and he kind of came out there unscathed. Nothing really happened to him. You have the whole Brooke getting captured and then him getting saved without really suffering any consequences, and Big Mom not even noticing it because well she was asleep. They literally steal him under her nose. They have Big Mom's crew just being incompetent. Like they're strong, but they're incompetent.
Well, I mean, we've seen it now in three different organizations. We've seen it with Crocodile, we've seen it with Doflamingo, we've seen it with Big Mom. As with any organization, there will be some loose ends. There will be some level of.
I know, but here's the thing. I feel like with the other crew though, I think it was better executed. Like even with Crocodile, even though the crew was able to win in the end, it didn't feel like they were just skipping through through all those events there were still things that was working against them. Heck,
Well, what I'm saying is things are still working against them here now. There hasn't been
now.
any change. Right. So just
But I'm
because
saying,
things are working out for them for the most part, it looks like they're about to lose all of that good karma that they had built up. It's about to just go clean up the window.
maybe. That depends, but that just goes into another issue I've been hearing people saying because I've heard people saying that someone's gonna come out of nowhere and save them, or they're gonna Or that Big Mom is gonna have a change of heart or some bullcrap like that.
Okay, so when you speak on that, I would like to then shift into one of the things that I'm concerned about. And you spoke about her gender. One of the things that's being displayed here is that she's highly emotional, which we've seen now for a couple different female characters. And
Pudding.
right, going back to Bowen Hancock, another powerful female character. As much as they have the ability to do a great deal of damage and be effective fighters or just effective characters in general, there seems to always be that emotional aspect that is their impediment, right? So this is one of the issues with Big Mom, to go and say, oh, she's going to then change her mind, uh, just be whimsical.
Yeah, because some people are saying that she's gonna become an ally of the Straw Hats and she's gonna help them fight Kaido. That's been a theory that's been going around before this arc even started, mind you.
Right. What I'm saying is that's only, I wonder if that's only being tossed about because she's a female, because of Big Mom and her gender. I wonder if that were a male, if that was something that would be thought about in that way.
I don't. I have to. I do. I don't think it would, but I do think. I don't think. With that one in particular, I don't think it's fully has to do with her being a female, but I do think it's part of it. I think the other thing it has to do is just the Lola thing,
Well,
even though that's kind of needs to be explained.
I do. Okay. So that is something that until we get more information, we sort of have to leave it as where it is. So that one requires a bit more examination. I'll say it like that. So, but I don't think right now that carries enough of a significant weight to affect whatever Big Mom is doing at this point in time. And until we get more information, I don't think it's affecting what Big Mom intends to do at this point in time.
But all right, let's say she does get redeemed and she does become an ally of Straw Hats. How you feel? How are you gonna feel about that?
What do you mean get redeemed?
Maybe that's not the right word, but basically becoming an ally is what I meant.
So are you assuming that she would become an ally based upon Lola only?
No, I'm just asking you, how would you feel about if it were to happen?
I don't necessarily know if I would have a feeling about it because I wouldn't know how to feel unless I understood why she would join. What is there presently in the story that would make that a thing?
See, that's the thing. I don't know either. But that's what a lot of people. That's what some people are saying. That I'm not sure if you watch this guy, but called Joy Boy. He wholeheartedly believes that Big Mom is still gonna be that she's gonna be an ally. And I'm just like, what?
I would be more likely to think that Shanks would do that than Big Mom. Remember, Luffy went and had an outright. He declared straight up and down that he was coming to deal with her on Fishman Island. We have to remember that, right? So this isn't just some sort of happenstance scruffle or scuffle. No, this is something that was built up, that was going to happen. They got beef. I don't know how do you get past that beef. It's not like Luffy and Crocodile where they had a situation where they just had to work with each other. No, after this event happens, unless there's something that's put there that forces them to work together, I don't see Big Mom allying with them.
Yeah, but people say that she's gonna help them fight Kaido. So unless Kaido does something that messes with Big Mom too, and they're forced to have an alliance, I don't really see it either. And I
So
don't see any of Kaido's people coming to Whole Cake Island. That would just be kind of random.
that'd be funny. It would be funny because that reminds me of is when Bartholomew Kuma showed up on Thriller Bark that would just be catastrophic because you're already trying to deal with one Shishibukai, and then another shows up, or someone significant from the Yonko crew shows up on Whole Cake. I don't even know what you're supposed to do at that point.
Like the only way I can see that happening is if one of the other supernova that had some tie-ins with Kaido shows up to Whole Cake Island, and one of the Yako crew members chases that person down, follows them, and then that's how they get dragged into Kaido stuff.
Hmm.
But even then, I don't see that happening now because I feel like the opportunity for that to happen is kind of gone now. Because I feel like if that was gonna happen, that would have happened when the guest for the Tea Party was introduced. Because there was a theory going around that like Summer Kids Alliance was gonna be there to maybe get help for Luffy or something.
Hmm. I see how that could happen. I see why that is a possibility. It makes sense. That was the perfect time.
Oh yeah, the box.
I
So
forgot about that, honestly.
a lot of people are disappointed by that thing. I don't know if I don't think it's fully done yet. I don't because I don't know. A lot of people were expecting that thing to I don't know, do something I guess more bigger or grander than what they actually ended up doing. Or because a lot of people are expecting it to either blow up on Big Mom's face or destroy the cake or something, and it just kind of got thrown to the side, like literally.
Well,
For me
seems that
personally, yeah. Oh, sorry. Let me just say this. For me personally, I have no opinion on it. What's yours?
for me, I trust in Oda's storytelling and that it will be revealed, the contents of which will be revealed in due time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and usually something like that tends to contain a very important piece to the story. So, I eagerly await to see what the contents of the tomato box is actually going to be.
Well, there was a bomb, and then people, was expecting it to. I think the bomb's still gonna go off, and it's still gonna destroy something. But what I've been hearing is that it might actually help aid them in their escape. Like maybe it goes underground or something and kind of blows up maybe the island itself, or and
Well,
maybe damages enough for them to kind of escape or something. I don't know.
what if the bomb was just the defense mechanism to protect the actual stuff inside?
But didn't Luffy put the bomb in there?
I don't remember that. I would have to go back and read that. Hmm.
I gotta look that. I'm sorry. I gotta look. I got to look that up. Because I forgot exactly how that thing went. But
Yes.
I don't think the bomb was originally in there. I think somebody put it in there. I think it was either Luffy or one of the fishermen or something. It's like a
Hmm.
retaliation against Big Mom or something like that.
All right. Well, with that being said, I wanted to get back to one of the points that you were raising in regards to the potential alliance, as you described, between Big Mom and Luffy's crew. Um, I'm also thinking and considering how difficult that would be because of what's happening now in terms of she she ultimately was going to basically
Killer.
split the crew up
Yeah.
because of the wedding.
Yeah, but
Um,
now that I think about it, it's kind of hard for either side to try to ally with each other because Big Mom, yeah, like you said, Big Mom was basically the thing that split the crew up, and on top of that, Luffy tried to kill her, or at least he allied with someone that was trying to kill her. So
right at that point, well, at that point, square is square. But it's kind of hard to get past that, though. You know what I mean? I try to kill you, you try to kill me. We're kind of cool, I think. but to work together, the trust level is so poor.
Like I said, I feel like at this point, like I said, at this point, Kaido is probably gonna have to do something to like mess with both of them. That would have to force them to get the team up for in order for an alliance like that to work right
Well,
now.
hold on. Last I recall, we had Blackbeard's crew apparently destroying Baltigo, right? With Dragon and Sabo. I think that's gonna make a reappearance at some point or another. We're not gonna just get a straight jump to Kaido. I don't think that's how it's gonna work. I think we're gonna get
Um,
filled in on some things.
there is the Reverie. I heard that's supposed to be happening before Wano Kuni. I think.
Right. And we saw some of those cover pages with Vivi. Because
That's probably the thing I'm looking forward to the most right now.
you'll finally get to see all the world, some of the leaders who are part of the world government.
Oh yeah. By the way, a lot of people are hoping this Reverie is gonna kind of go down like the Five Kage Summit arc in Naruto,
Well,
with the revolutionaries pulling like a Sasuke.
the difference is, it seems like, at least with the five Kage meetings, they're all capable and strong characters. In the case of the leaders of the world, the people in the world government, that's a little different. They aren't necessarily there because of how strong they are.
Yeah,
Most of that is just bloodline. So it's a
but
little
there might
different.
but there might be some top tier characters that might show up as like
Right.
bodyguards. Like maybe we
Well,
might get introduced to Green Bull or CPO or something.
we also have to take into consideration that um, the Germas are going to be attending the reverie if they make it out of this. And they're pretty formidable for what we've seen in this last chapter. They might have been underestimated because of how incompetent they looked at times. But it seems when push comes to shove, they might be pretty good. And so there's a strong chance then, or there's a likelihood that there could be some leaders from these different kingdoms who are actually capable to hold their own in situations that call for combat. So perhaps I spoke too soon. And perhaps I made an assumption in assuming that there wouldn't be strong characters who also happen to be leaders.
I think there should be at least one or two of them.
Right. That's how I feel. That's how I feel.
Oh yeah, by the way, I think Fujitora is gonna be there.
If it's at Reverie, I would think that's the equivalent of a UN meeting. You're going to have as much security there as possible.
Yeah, but not only that, but if you remember, he wants to abolish this warlord system, so maybe he might want to try to bring that up.
Well, that makes sense from his standpoint because a pirate is a pirate.
Yeah, and the whole situation in Dressrosa pretty much reinforced it.
Right. So it makes sense from where he stands. Absolutely. And every time, from what we've seen, each and every time that a pirate has taken a position of a warlord, with the exception maybe of Kuma, most have gone on to outright work
Abuse.
against the Marines.
Yeah, and they also abuse their power.
Right. And even then, Kuma still did things that were not in alignment with the Marines in terms of technically saving Luffy and his crew at Saboti by sending them away, and then also protecting the ship while they were gone. So it's interesting.
I think they hold on to him because he's probably the most loyal of a warlord they're gonna get at this point.
And it's frustrating to me because he's my favorite character in the series. And
Really?
absolutely, absolutely, without question. I mean, first and foremost, his entrance was subtle, quiet. If he didn't announce his presence, no one would have known he was there. That's
Um,
the type of character that I like.
yeah.
They're powerful. You don't necessarily feel or see their power until they flex. and then they just ruin everything.
Yeah, but you gotta remember too, he was introduced alongside Doflamingo, so that was already hype. Like when those two got introduced, it's like you knew they were gonna be a big deal,
Well, at that
but you were
point,
gonna have to
Kuma
wait for
was, but still at that point, Kuma wasn't necessarily talked about. We sort of were focusing more on Doflamingo at that point in time. He was the more outgoing, the more um, eye-catching character.
but you still knew that there was something up with this guy though.
Well, obviously because he's a Shishibuka, that just makes sense. So he's probably going to be important. But to
I
see how he got down was, think about it. He's a one-man crew as opposed to Doflamingo with the entire organization, and he got more done in a half an hour than Gecko Moria did in a couple nights.
I actually like the way they introduced Kuma because it was very subtle.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree. It was lovely. And what's funny too is that it's almost like they were teasing him, but it was someone downplaying him before actually showing what he was truly capable of because he had a slightly lower bounty than Doflamingo.
Right.
But then later on it's like, oh, he is a big deal. He's not
Yes.
somebody to mess with.
Right. And what makes him all the more interesting is that I'm still trying to figure out why he even needed to become a cyborg, because just as he was, I mean, if Luffy's whole crew was healthy and they went up against him, if everybody on Thriller Bark went up against him, they still would lose.
He has one of the most OP devil fruits I've ever seen.
Well, it has more to do with his intelligence that makes it so effective. It's like Law. Law's devil fruit ability is useless if you don't know, if you don't have any sort of intent to put it, to optimize it in terms of making it into like medical stuff. Put it to use for medicinal purposes. Law's ability, his background allows him to maximize the devil fruit.
You could say the same about Luffy's devil fruit. Like his is really like great on paper, but the way he uses it's how he's
Right.
mashing his fruit. It's amazing because a lot of people. Because if you check like a video like top 10 or 20 best devil fruits, his usually makes at least top 15. And some people are like, well, it's like Luffy's devil fruit really isn't all that. His devil fruit even kind of sucks. It's just that he's so good at using it.
Well, and also he's one of the characters in terms of devil fruits that we had the most exposure to. So of course you're going to put what's there, the thing that you've always seen, and you've always got to see how cool it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that
It's
doesn't
front and
always.
center.
Yeah, but it doesn't always work like that. Because here's the thing. This is going back to Bleach. Ichigo Kurosaki, he has his because they're one of the main power systems is with the Zamato, the weapons.
Yes.
His is actually very lame in comparison to many other characters. Like, not only that, but he's not very good at using it, and even at the end of the series, he never even mastered it. So that doesn't always work. But then again, that's more because of bad writing than anything else. But
Mm.
you
Yeah,
know what
but
I'm
you
saying,
see,
right?
this is the point that we're trying to get into now. And this is something that's starting to take shape. Optimizing your devil fruit. Right, we've seen Doflamingo touch on awakening, but how can you maximize your devil fruit abilities?
I will say this: I think the way Oda's handles, I think most of the characters who have devil fruits, at least the major characters, have been done pretty well. Like the warlords for the most part, the way they've used their devil fruits, even like the lamer warlords like Moria, like his devil fruit was pretty awesome, and even the way he used it was pretty good.
Right, he was frustrating because I found that so strange that he can absorb the shadows, but he gets punched in the gut and they come flying out. That didn't make any sense to me.
That might be more plot convenience, but
Yeah, that didn't make any sense to me at all.
well, there's a few things that didn't really make sense with his devil fruit, like how they were able to store all the shadows in Luffy. That was kind of odd.
Right, that's another good point. That was odd.
that arc that whole fight was kind of just off.
Well, I mean, considering where they were at, that sort of fit the atmosphere. It sort of just
I
blended in.
okay, I'll say I don't think Yakamura was handled as well as he could have been.
I thought his introduction was good. I really did. I thought his introduction was good.
Because unfortunately, a lot of people even put him lower than Crocodile, despite the fact that Luffy beat him before he even got the gears. But then again, you have to think about it like that. Crocodile, I do think, posed more of a threat to Luffy, considering he beat him like twice before he was able to beat him the third time.
No, you appreciated Crocodile because of the struggle.
Right.
You appreciate Crocodile because he made Luffy work. Um, and
But yeah.
I personally tend to appreciate characters. I'm always interested in seeing the characters that Luffy goes up against who don't have devil fruit powers, and how they fare. Because I distinctly remember Captain Kuro. This is going way back, but he gave him a great deal of trouble.
Some people speculate that he might know like Rokishi. That might be it.
Hmm. I wouldn't be surprised if he were to return. You know, it's funny because he's one of the more intelligent characters that I've seen in One Piece, in the sense that he schemed for years successfully. Right?
He was pretty much like the Aizen of One Piece, really. Where he
Yeah,
plans all this stuff for years.
right. So I can't see him not resurfacing at some point or another.
No, he has to return at some point because didn't he become a pirate? Didn't he become a pirate again after they left the East Blue?
I don't remember the cover stories, so I'd have to take a look at that too.
I think he did because I think when they were Luffy's Valley was first shown, like they showed like all the major characters and he was looking at it. I think he was on the pirate ship, so I think he
Mm,
might be a pirate again.
yeah, and he definitely is probably going to be a major player. He's too smart not to be.
Like I'm waiting for him, Morgan, and Krieg. Like these guys kind of had to come back at some point.
I think Krieg is done because his power is really based upon his armada, whereas Kuro's power is based most specifically on his intelligence. We saw how incompetent his crew was at times. It
Well,
was really,
that is speed.
yes, that and his speed. Morgan, that was just more so because he was backed by the government in terms of him wearing marine robes. He's one of those people who's like, do you see what I have on? Do you see this 2x4 badge that I have on? This means I have power now.
Well, he literally had an axe, so there's that.
Well, yeah, but he was operating with impunity, right? There's no fear or consequence of doing what he was going to do because he could say he was doing it in the name of justice. Whether justice actually meant the same to him as it did to his petty officer remains to be seen, but he's operating under justice, so he can do what he wants.
Oh yeah, another character people are waiting for to come back is NL.
And now I'm looking forward to his return. Him, and Kuma are my two favorites because Anel's power is ridiculous, and Luffy was able to get by because of his devil fruit ability. So that was really just a matchup nightmare. But for everybody else, Anel is a problem.
Well, Oda did say that because I told you this before that he said two things. He said that if NL was actually a pirate, he would have a bounty of 500 million, which would put him on the level of a Yako commander if you think about it.
Right.
Because Ace has like 50 million higher than him, and then on top of that, he would he also said that he felt that he had him and Crocodile get defeated too early, which is implying that they are stronger than what they were. Which probably means that Luffy beat people that was stronger than him, but he kind of had to do it because of the plot.
Right. Well, Anel's own versus Luffy's made a bit more sense because of the devil fruit matchup. That's the only reason why it worked. But even then, Anel walked away. He got up and walked away even after the defeat.
Yeah, but that's the funny thing. I do think the defeats with both of them were handled relatively well because he still showed how strong they were. And in Enel's case, he didn't even really lose.
Right. because he still
He
got what he wanted ultimately.
he just bounced. He just he's like, all right, I'm done with this. I'm out of here.
Right.
In fact, he's kind of got off better than he did when he was than before Luffy showed up. Because now he's you can say now he's more educated about what's out there outside of Skypiea, and now he has his own little space army with him. And who knows what he's discovered up there. So when he does come back, he's going to be steering some. In fact, a lot of people were saying that he was going to be the unknown warlord, which would have been crazy if it was true.
That would be dope, but I don't. His ego would not allow him to be subjected
But
or under the subjection of someone else.
what do you think he's going to do when he comes back? Because I am really interested in that.
I'm just interested in seeing him come back, period. What he does, I'll be 100% behind, so long as this is not to kill the Straw Hats.
I don't think he cares about them at this point. He's I'm pretty sure he's on the bigger and better things now.
It's funny to see how all the people who we ran into at the early beginning of One Piece, the early beginnings of One Piece, it seems like they're going to start making appearances because we had Crocodile resurface. We've seen Buggy come back. It seems like it's as further along we go into the new world, the further and further back in time, in terms of Luffy's journey, we begin to go, because we're just going to start to see the first people, the people that set Luffy on his journey, that he had to beat to go on his journey, come back perhaps at the end of his journey.
I'm always interested whenever a story does that because it always brings some intrigue and it kind of brings more layers to those characters and to the story. Because it's almost like it's bringing things full circle.
Right, exactly. However, once you see that, it's hard. It's pretty strong to stick. Once you see that, you can almost have sheer confidence that the series is coming to an end.
Yeah.
All right. So that's what my markers will be. If I'm starting to see Kuro come back, if I'm seeing Axe Hand Morgan come back, Don Krieg, Captain Alvita.
Well, she's with Buggy now, but
right.
Arlong,
yes.
Walton. Oh yeah, Walton. Well, him and Wapple came back, so because they're going to be part of Reverie, so that's going to be intriguing.
Correct.
Actually, now I think about it, some of the old people already are coming back now because they're getting more into because of the way things are going right now in the story.
Right. I'm talking about more so in terms of final battle type stuff.
Yeah,
they're coming back because of official government business. That's a little different.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure everybody's going to be. But I feel like at this point everybody's starting to make their move now or what they're trying to do.
Right. We're in the home stretch. Yes, yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah, because we're basically really are at like the main course of the story at this point.
Yes, definitely we are. Well,
looks like pretty much like we're gonna be when we finally get to the Dark Continent on Honor.
Yes, I'm glad it's coming back. What, 2 weeks? We got 2 weeks.
Next week.
No, week after. I thought it was the 26th.
Is it?
Right, we didn't get that. I thought it was the 26th. It's coming back the 26th.
All right, so it's 2 weeks from now, right?
Right. Basically, so that's going to be interesting because usually whenever it's running, Hunter x Hunter tends to outperform One Piece in terms of sales. So I'm very curious to see what type of coverage it's going to get when it comes back.
It's going to
same time that One Piece comes back from break.
Let me ask you this. All right, so you have the New World of One Piece. You had the Dark Continent of Hunter x Hunter, and I'm not sure how familiar you are with Toriko, but Toriko has something like that too with the Gourmet World.
Okay.
Do you think that do you think Naruto and maybe Bleach has something like that too? Do you think it was needed?
I'm trying to think within the Naruto world if they had something like that already. It might not have been as expansive, It might have been there. Hmm. A place that presented a great number of obstacles, potentially strong foes. Naruto. Hmm. I feel though in Naruto is the reverse because the threat came to them, and, that as opposed to going to where the threats lie. Because I would argue that the Akatsuki represented that a big group of unknowns, potentially powerful foes. But I think they had that. It's just it was in the reverse. You weren't going to them; they came to you. Hello.
Oh, hello. Yeah, sorry
I'm
about that.
here. I'm
Yeah,
here.
yeah, sorry about that. Well, I was just trying to check something and things shut off. So, all right, so I cut off what you was saying about we started to get into the Naruto thing. You was saying like how I think the danger comes to them or whatever.
Right. That's basically what I was stating. That the, the unknown came to them. They knew about the unknown. They probably but the unknown came to them. So they had that. It's just it was in the reverse.
Yeah, but then again, with Naruto, like the main villain of because then again they get I guess the difference too is
They
that
did
because
have to go and seek pain out. Naruto did have to find pain. So that I understand.
yeah, but even then, Pain came looking for him though.
True. No, I mean the he actually had to find the real pain. You get what I mean? Still had to go and find Nagato.
Right. By the way, they actually airing that arc right now on Toonami.
Oh really? Ooh.
Yeah,
I probably would tune into that. Right now it's like DBZ right now, right?
yeah,
Mm.
yeah. They're showing that in Super, and right now in Super they're showing the resurrection of F arc and Kai they're showing the blue arc.
Right, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh
So
man.
yeah. Anyway, so with the Naruto thing, I think the
Mm.
other thing too is that with the see. I think the other thing too is that world building in Naruto wasn't really as big like it is like in One Piece. So that's what,
Vulnerability?
no, I said world building.
Oh, world building. Huh. Oh no, for Naruto, history was more important for sure. There's a lot of backstory,
Yeah.
great deal of backstory.
The funny thing is, I think Boruto is. I'm not sure if you're watching Boruto right now. I'm watching it right now. It's actually pretty decent, and it seems like Boruto is kind of trying to, I guess, do some of the things that the original series didn't do. Like right now, it's showing like Naruto, like the next generation in the academy. Like it's showing like that stuff before it like gets into the movie stuff,
Mm, I see.
which which is intriguing to me because I'm just like, because we never really got much of that. Like they had like what one episode chapter of them being in the academy, then they graduated, and then that was it.
It accelerated it. Yes.
So I think what they it looks like what they might be doing is try to do things a little slower.
So it was better pacing, is what you're saying.
Yeah, because I do think so. I think Naruto moved a bit too fast at times.
Mm.
Oh, I definitely feel that one for Bleach. Well, Bleach
I
is
find
more
that
to that.
I find that pretty funny considering how much blank panels there were.
Oh, let me explain like this. Bleach had the issue where it was fast and slow at the same time. Like the story itself moved pretty fast, but the actual pacing was slow as hell because of the way the panels were laid out.
Yeah.
And the fact that Kubo had this issue of drawing fights out for like chapters. Like,
Well, also
like
his health situation perhaps accelerated a lot of things.
well, that too. Plus, he's also kind of lazy, so there's that problem.
Is he Togashi lazy?
At times, he could be because, and he's kind of a troll. So, well, I should say kind of. He is a troll. So that that stuff didn't help either. And I think the health issue only accelerated the problems that he had. And then there's also just other issues, like his issues with Shonen Jump and his editors and stuff. So all
Right.
that stuff just kind of just
And those
it's
things aren't taken into consideration when we think about how these mangaka produce and provide their work to us and all the stressors that come in with it.
yeah. I already told you about the high school the dead author how he passed away a few months ago.
Was there a particular cause?
I don't know if they actually said how he passed, but I'm pretty sure it probably had to do with just him being overworked. Well, they just say he wasn't feeling well for a while, and the series was on hiatus for a long time. So it had to do with health issues, basically.
Right. Which is why Oda has been taking a week off every month.
Which I think should be the case for all the authors.
Yes. I mean, if you're working, what was I think he's working 19 hours a day, I think, basically.
Yeah, Togashi actually discussed that at some point in I think one of the interviews where he talked about, like I said, the best video to watch is it's called like whenever you get time to I might send it to you. It's called The Fall of Bleach, How It Happened. It's a very informative video, not just like on the stuff revolving like Kubo and his issues, but also just the stuff that generally that manga have to go through, period, and how that has to play a part because then he kind of goes into what Togashi was saying about because he did like this kind of math table thing where he says like the X amount of days is like basically saying about the free time that he actually gets, not including well actually is include not including like the daily things that you have to do like eating, sleeping, bathing, all that type of stuff.
It's maybe like an hour, if that.
Yeah, but just general free time with yeah. So just think about that for a second because they're doing this weekly and they have to plan other stuff weekly. That's. And I heard another series that does a good. I heard another thing that kind of does a good job documenting this is Bakuman. The
Ah,
series.
I remember Sterling was always harping on that series as something that should be read.
Yeah, I finally got I actually got I got the first volume. I haven't like read it yet, but
Please let me know what you think of it.
well, hopefully it's good. I've heard a lot of good things about it. Braco was actually talking about. He actually commented on one of his live streams recently about it because he was actually saying that they also make references to like other manga. Like I think they even made references to, like the big three and whatnot, and also just how basically documented the life of a mangaka. I mean, that in itself is interesting.
It makes perfect sense, though, because now it would probably give you more of an appreciation for the
Yeah.
mangaka.
Plus, it's also made by the people that made Death Note, so there's that.
Mm.
which is interesting because I've noticed that they always seem to make series of surrounding books.
They're trying to let you know that they love to read, I guess.
Baby.
Well,
So,
I'm short on time. Um, so if there's any
um,
last minute wrap up things or topics that you want to get to before I go, I have like maybe another 15.
all right. So we'll end this at 12:30, right?
All
Is that
right,
good?
sounds good.
So that's about what 26 minutes. All right. Let's get in. All right. So all right, is there anything else we need to discuss about One Piece? Oh yeah, actually there was. Going back into like my trolling session, another thing that people would, another thing that I was stirring up on in the chat was the giant hype. Because I was just like, oh, I was just like, oh, I'm not hyped about the Giants. I'm like, because here's my whole thing. I was saying that the Giants are overhyped because everyone say, oh, the Giants are the strongest race because because they basically what they've been hyping about Elbaf, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm pretty sure there's gonna be some powerful Giants there, but all the Giants we've seen so far have been have been pushovers.
I disagree. I think the ones that remember Dorian Groggy, um, they're a little different.
They
Their
got
weapon,
didn't they get beat by Mr. Three though?
but remember after he spiked their ale, that
Okay, but what,
exploded on them. Remember, that's a far that's a far different outcome if they were healthy.
all right,
We have to
hold on.
always think of the things that happen. It's like when you talk about whether Sanji could take on, um, say, Judge when Judge did not have Germa clones ready and willing to take hits and get in the way, right?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I was talking about crap about Judge. I was talking about crap about Judge too in the chat too. Yeah,
Well,
I was talking a lot of crap in the chat.
okay, so can we touch on Judge then? Because he's a very interesting character. He reminds me of Ward Sequin from Fairy Tale, where he may not necessarily have the capabilities as a fighter in the sense that his skills might not be built for one-on-ones, but if you think of everything else, the planning, the organization, the building, he is a very important character. Because look at what he produced. That Germa team, it's a family business that looks like it, from what we've seen so far, it's going to do pretty good.
Yeah, they're like evil Power Rangers.
All right, I'll give you that, I suppose.
All
That's
right,
the idea.
okay.
There,
Before you get more into that, let me just ask you this: did Luffy not one shot one of the giants from the giant squad in on Marine Fort though?
I don't remember that. Marineford was a little hate. I read Marineford just to read through Marineford. You know what I mean? It wasn't something that I was really paying attention to. I felt that it was kind of long. I lost interest and I just stayed on top of it just to stay on top of it. But many of the events I don't recall.
I still need to watch the dub of that. I haven't watched the dub of that yet.
No, I didn't. I didn't care. I remember I remember watching bits and pieces of the anime for that. I remember watching Whitebeard speaking about One Piece existing. I remember that much. But that's the only reason why I tolerated Marineford was because of Whitebeard.
You didn't like it? I thought that was a great arc.
It wasn't that. It was the realization of what was going to happen during that arc. You knowing that people were going to die and the loss of Whitebeard. That was a tough one for me.
I say that arc didn't have its problems. It did. Obviously the pacing that. And Boogie might be mentioned is like the power scaling or something, or like that was kind of messed up in that arc.
Okay, I have to ask you about this. What's with the need to determine who's the strongest individually?
It just kind of is. There's the, the, you
No, the
just
reason why I asked that is because I sort of take the Codename Kids Next Door approach. I don't know if you ever seen Operation Zero.
I think I might have saw a little bit of that, but that was a long time ago. You go fresh.
Right. So that was one of those things where Agent Zero made the point of saying, look, I'm only as good as my team. And I feel when it comes to One Piece, a show about a variety of crews, you sort of, it doesn't matter how strong your captain is. If you don't have the necessary crew, it's pointless. So Big Mom, for as strong as she is, if she didn't have a decent crew where they're starting to make themselves appear to be competent, it wouldn't make much of a difference how strong she is.
Sure.
Can't do it in One Piece like that. So it would almost make more sense to judge a crew and then
Yeah,
speak about some of their greatness individually than to do it
yeah,
in
but
the
they do have
reverse.
like the things that they do have individual fights though, and you do have people that have their own individual goals. Like the team thing, I feel like works more with Naruto because they actually fight as a legit team.
And you're saying that you don't in One Piece?
Not really, it's not a lot. I mean, they have their crew thing itself, but I mean, like in like one when it comes to like fights, though,
Well, you
I
could
don't think
argue
like
that you could argue in the same breath that Naruto has a lot of individual fights as well. But what I'm saying is, how I look at it is this.
that's really just with Naruto and Sasuke, though.
No, 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 no. I mean, there have been multiple fights. For instance, when Naruto went up against Kabuto, right?
Yeah, yeah,
That
that's what I'm saying. That Naruto, it's usually Naruto and Sasuke though that have like the one-on-one fights. Maybe Kakashi.
no, there have been a couple of different times. They're usually brief though, one-on-one encounters, right? And even then, Kakashi on some of his fights have had help.
Well, he usually gets help because he seems to always get his ass beat for some reason.
Okay, we have an agreement in one area tonight. We agree. No, we've agreed on several different things, but that one especially, that's in set in stone.
What the
Um,
Kakashi gets his ass beat?
yes, he does quite a
Yeah,
bit. I kind
unfortunately,
of
he kind
wonder
of
how effective he would be without that eye because he's pretty ineffective with it.
the problem is that Kakashi's basically used as a jobber. He's basically used to show how strong the other characters are.
Well, the problem is he's a poor measuring stick.
It's the general hype of the way he was set up. Period. Like with him being a Jonin and him being part of Ambu and him having the Sharingan, like that stuff. Like that's the general hype. Just general hype. Not like, but I do feel like Kishimoto could have had him win more before starting to knock him down.
Well, I
So
mean,
when he actually loses, it's actually oh crap, this guy must be powerful.
well, here's the thing. Even his first win was fraudulent because it was interrupted. If you think about it,
What against
Zabuza
Zabuza?
Zabuza had him. If it weren't for the fact that Zabuza had to deal with Kakashi and then deal with Team Seven, he would have won.
He kind of did win the first round if you really think about it, because he had like there was like
That's an,
he won the first round. Naruto and Sasuke had to save Kakashi, so
that's what I'm
Kakashi beat
saying.
him the second.
You see, what I'm saying is the problem with that is Kakashi got to see him again. That usually doesn't happen in the ninja world. It's you meet for that first time and surprise is the person can win with the surprise advantage. That element was taken away. So
Yeah, but
that was unfair to Zabuza more than anybody else.
yeah, but
Because
even then, Zabuza still got W's off of Kakashi. Kakashi, like, how many times did Kakashi fight him? Like 3 or 4 times, and out of those times, he only got like really two solid W's off of him.
See, what I would prefer is like what you have with Kisame and Guy, where each and every time they leveled up. Like that I appreciate. And also that was another individual fight, right? Very little interference. That's what you need in Naruto. That was good stuff. But back to the point that I was trying to make, One Piece, like you do need individual strength because you need to have your teammates be able to hold their own. Your crew has to be able to hold their own in certain instances. I look at it like if, for instance, you've heard. I don't know if you remember. I've brought this concept up before where I would never get mad if Sanji lost a fight because that's not his primary responsibility on the crew, which is to
And
be
he
a
does lose
sweeper.
fight. And he does lose fights though.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I won't be mad about that because his
But
primary responsibility is to be a cook.
you know what I do like though? Oda actually does give an opportunity for all the Straw Hats to have real fights and have them win it.
Right.
Because this is
That's necessary and
what
important.
it's, I really yes it is and it's something I really appreciate, especially after coming from Bleach, where they don't do that, where it's really just Ichigo kind of doing everything, and then maybe you have Rufio Udio get like one or two wins or Reggie, and the other ones are just like jobbers,
Right.
like Chad, the whole Chad X ground meme.
But you see, the problem with that is that puts too much pressure on your star players, and that's where I feel One Piece does a better job of that. Where okay, you could expect Luffy to take on added responsibility at times, but that shouldn't be the status quo where he has to every single time.
Yeah,
Your
and
crew
in
should be able
fact,
to alleviate your burdens from time to time.
yes, he shouldn't be taken out. It shouldn't be him versus the entire crew. It should be his crew versus that crew.
Right.
That's
And
that's that's why I appreciate when it comes to One Piece. Like the other characters aren't useless. They have their roles. They have their goals. They
right.
have their battles, and they do win when it's needed.
Right, exactly. You have to be able to. And here's what it does.
And even when they have team fights, they all put in work, and it's always exciting when they do have team fights.
Right. And why it's important is because Luffy is freed up now to focus 100% on that other person's boss. Now,
Yeah,
he's had situations where he's had to take on the
one more
underlings
person.
and the main boss at the same time in certain situations. And sometimes he relished in that, and that's okay. But the toll that took on him, I mean, I don't expect Luffy to live past 30. I'm being frank with you. The way
I'm
things
expecting. I'm actually expecting a few Destroyer Hats to kind of die. To be honest,
I
like
expect
Sesame
him
Love
to die
Destruction.
first. I expect him to die first. He's not going to make it past 30. I don't see him making it past 30. From the moment he started using Gear Second, and how we know that that shortens his lifespan considerably, to the trauma that he experienced versus Akainu, I don't expect him to live very long. That would almost be too appropriate for him as soon as he becomes the Pirate King to die.
Hmm.
I think that would almost be a nice fitting way for it to end. Once he attained freedom, he had no reason to live anymore.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm just saying I do appreciate like that Oda does that. Naruto, it did an all right job. I do feel like Kishimoto could have done a little better job. Like again with Kakashi, I think he needed to do better than what he did.
Is it
Um,
sad to say that Mike Guy, who in some ways was not necessarily one of the main characters, actually did a better job at what he was supposed to do than Kakashi did at his job?
yeah. Sakura, I think she needed more.
She needed more development, absolutely.
I still think Kishimoto could have done stuff with like the other like rookies.
I feel like the female characters were always sort of less than in terms of
Well,
how they demonstrated outside of Tsunade. And even then, she was still sort of stuck in her office as a Hokage. So yes, she had importance, but from what we've seen, Hokages like Saratobi get out. she was
Yeah,
sort of stuck in her office. I found that it's very uncomfortable in many ways sometimes, how the female characters are just pigeonholed.
yeah, but Kishimo did say he wasn't really good at writing females, so there's that. So he actually admitted it. He didn't like he didn't pretend like yeah I'm great at this. No, he actually admitted he wasn't really good at writing females, and it's very clear to see. I mean, look at
10-10.
Hinata. Yeah, hit it had 10-10. Oh my god, yeah. Don't even get me started with 10-10. Like, I think one of the very few females that I think he did a decent job with was with Tamari. And
Thank
even then
you.
she kinda got and even then she kinda got pushed to the side. But at least she had at least she got W's also. There's
Right.
that.
She came in off top and was killing.
To 10-10's expense, but yeah,
I mean, for real, she held her own.
true.
You
And
know
she
what I mean?
actually and look, she even helped the guy that actually beat her in the fight.
Right.
She actually that's funny.
Think about it though. She lost to the smartest person in the room. There's no shame in that
Yeah,
at
but
all.
what's funny is that she actually kind of gets her revenge in that because she actually winds up helping him later on. She basically finishes his fight,
They
so
that's what they
she gets redeemed.
right. See, that's what they complement each other well.
See, and that's the thing. Like that's also probably one of the very few relationships I thought that was actually well handled
Yes,
because
it was.
they actually set that up with their first fight and they kind of just built up upon it throughout the rest of the series.
Yes, it was. That was one of the 1A+ performances by Kishimoto in terms of putting that together.
But then again, those two characters are probably some of the best written characters in Naruto too. So
Yes, they were. Yes, they were. They
and
the
Shikamaru.
what Shikamaru's role, it was foreshadowed in the sense that he's so smart. If he just had something worth doing, what he could do, and
His problem was that he was just a lazy bastard.
right, but he had no motivation.
But that started to change from the Sasuke retrieval arc onwards, because that's when he really starts developing as a character.
Right, and also the Asuna's death really accelerated everything. That
Yeah,
just
those two arcs really helped Shikamaru's character.
yes,
Like
which
it
make
it, it propelled him to like heights, like great heights. And I also heard that Shikamaru was actually one of Kishimoto's favorite characters, so I actually think had a lot to do with it too.
I mean, it's hard not to like him. I mean, it really is. I feel like it's sort of what Kishimoto looks forward to doing when he stops writing Naruto. Just sit down and be lazy.
But plus, plus, I gotta ask you this: was you expecting Shikamaru to beat an Akatsuki member? Because that was shocking to me. I was like, "Oh snap!" And he did it so fly too. He was like,
Nah, if you think about it though, Asuna alluded to it. He's probably the smartest person in the village. It makes sense.
not only that, but he sold one. I was just like, "Oh snap!"
No, he had home field advantage. Period.
Yeah,
So it didn't matter at that point. You
yeah,
give
but
him
still,
time to plan and prepare for anybody. Anybody.
yeah, but
He's winning.
yeah, yeah, but still, that was impressive though. I'm glad Kishimoto did that. I think that was fantastic.
Well, it's impressive because we've never seen him do anything like that before. But if we again pay attention to his intellect, we could say we were surprised that he pulled it off, right? The execution, but we weren't surprised about the plan once we saw it.
Yeah, but it's just still great in general. Because think about it, like, because remember with these stories, you have they're coming of age stories, and we're actually seeing like Shikamaru come into his own. So that was
True.
just that was really great to see that. That's also why I enjoyed like the Sasori fight because we got to finally see Sakura come into our own, or just that
Personally,
entire
I
arc.
was saddened because Sasori is it was my favorite character in Naruto, so that hurt. Him and
I
Might Guy are my two favorites, so that hurt. That hurt.
well,
That
I
actually,
enjoyed it. Well, Sasori, I love Sasori too, but then again, I enjoyed most of the Akatsuki members in general. And
Hidan is just hysterical though.
even though even though it was sad to see Sasori go, I was fine with the way he went out because the dude, first off, he was a hard boss, and he really did push like Sakura and Chio to their limits. And just in general, I thought that arc was good for her because we got to really see her take action from fighting Sasori to like save a Kakuro's life, creating the antidote, that stuff. I thought that was really good. I was like,
True.
yes. Like
Yeah,
if
but
Kishimoto had kept that up with
right.
Sakura, I think that would have been because he had a really good setup with her. Like the first two arcs of Shippuden, she was really good. Or the first two or three arcs, but it's like I would say her character really started getting bad with the five Kage summon arc. That's where he really just kind of just started slipping with her.
Yeah, it's
Like
centered to the
if he
wayside.
but if he had kept what he was doing with her like at the beginning of the time skip, I think she would have been great.
I
'Cause-
see.
yeah, and what was the thing? Like there was some good setup for her with her intelligence too. Because if
Yes.
you remember, she was actually smart enough to get some of the questions right in the tuning exams just with her intellect alone. And she knows a lot of like ninja knowledge
Right.
and
No, her aptitude was always high.
yeah.
It was whether she actually had the physical tools. That was always the
Something
issue.
something they said that she was actually would have been good at genjutsu. If she actually learned genjutsu along with the other stuff she would learn, she would have probably been one of the most balanced fighters in the series. Because then she would have had genjutsu, taijutsu, and ninjutsu as well.
Hmm.
I think that was a missed opportunity on Kishimoto's part with her.
Well, again, there's only so much that you can do. You know,
Yeah,
we considering that these people are literally writing books. They, you know what I mean? They technically are writing massive books that just
I,
happen to have pictures in them. But the stories that they're telling are massive. They're going to miss a couple things here and there. We can't fault them.
plus I think I'm not sure if Naruto was his first story, but at least it's one of his first stories. So it's gonna be trial and error.
That
But I
is
think
true.
but I think he actually did a solid job with the series overall. I really do.
And I do too.
Like at first I remember I was really frustrated with a lot of stuff that's happening, but now that I was able to, since the series ended and Bleach, I was able to step back and I'm rewatching the series now. I'm just like, you know what? Some of
It's
the stuff I have
satisfying.
problems with isn't as bad as I thought it was. Like there's missed opportunities, obviously.
Right.
I think that's probably this biggest problem is the missed opportunities. But
I'll
even
put
now, I feel like this getting rectified kind of with Baruto because it seems like he's kind of well,
going back and righting the wrongs.
yeah, and it's kind of doing things that he could have done in the earlier stuff. So that's actually being fixed. So in a sense,
I'll leave you with this. Having gone through Kaito Kill Hitman Reborn and
mm,
understanding how difficult it is to get to the good part, I've gained a great deal of appreciation for Naruto
right.
because the story did take some time to really get into the meat and potatoes.
And there was some bumps and bruises there, but yeah. But I think the story overall was solid. Like it at least had an ending, and it had a beginning, a middle, and an end. And at least it was. And look, at least it was conclusive.
Right. A good series is a finished series.
Look, at least the ending actually felt like an ending. It wasn't just like that's it. At
True.
least they actually concluded the conflict. No matter how stupid things might have gotten at times, at least it did that.
Yes,
But
indeed.
there's one last thing I do want to mention though. We was talking about the Judge thing. I I was saying I was bashing Judge. The reason why I bashed Judge is because I was saying he's an idiot for trusting Big Mom. A lot of people are bashing him because he was crying. I don't really mind that part. I was just saying he was an idiot. So I guess that's like final thoughts. What do you got to say about that?
Well, you don't get that name without having some level of uh, intellect. I mean, the name in it of itself says something that ultimately he's gonna have the final say. You've
Do you
heard it
think
from me first.
do you think Judge is going to get redeemed? Like in terms of him looking better than what he is looking right now?
I'll repeat what I said. His name would implies that he will have the final say.
I will hold you to that. And lastly, do you think Boppin is going to redeem himself as well? As far as like looking like a jobber, do you think he's actually going to get to do something? Or do you think Smoothie is going to get to do something?
Oh no, Smoothie's gonna put in that work. She's gonna blend people for sure.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. How do you feel about the Reiju confronting Smoothie thing? Because a lot of people are criticizing that. They say there's no way Reiju should be able to touch Smoothie. She's too weak. What are your thoughts
Nah,
on that?
just like her and her entire family, these next couple chapters will reshape how we think of the Vinsmokes.
I would hope so because I really want to see them put in work. I do.
Well, they got the suits to do it now. They morphed up.
Yeah, morphin time.
Yeah,
They got the Zoids. They better start putting them. They need to start putting in that work now.
right.
Well, they
Minus the
kind of have to.
racism.
Okay, all right, maybe I shouldn't say that, but oh yeah, what you expecting from Capone here?
I hope he lives.
You think of the castle thing? People will say like that thing's like his gear second or gear third or gear fourth.
Well, first and foremost, it's a defensive measure. It's not offensive. That's totally different. So you can't even compare the two.
Yeah, but
Secondly,
but I mean like in terms of like a different mode of his devil fruit, would you consider something like that?
if you think about it, the first time we saw his devil fruit, we saw him on the offensive. Now we're seeing him doing more defensive things with his devil fruit. So I guess you're seeing how multifaceted he is.
I always thought he was more of a defensive fighter, period. Because when he first showed up in Sabaldi, he used his crew to fight, not really himself per se.
No, but that was pretty much an offensive move. From that standpoint, actually having stuff go out as opposed to stuff coming to him and then just fending off. He actually sent folks out as opposed to having everybody go in and stay put.
I am glad that he has like real actual characters in his crew that seem like legit.
Right. I love Gastino, by the way.
Yeah, yes. I hope he actually becomes part of his crew if he doesn't join the Straw Hats or something.
He seems like a good fit.
Yeah.
I actually have the crew as my wallpaper for my laptop. So
I'm hoping the other supernovas have some like legit people in their crews too.
well, they do. You know they do. I mean, Kid, of course, has Killer. So
there seems to be some hype for Heat and Wire too.
Say it one more time.
I said there seems to be a little hype for Heat and Wire too. The Heat's the Scarecrow guy can spit fire.
Oh, okay.
And Wire's to do with the web with the I think was it the pitchfork and he has the tattoos on the face.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, but I'm actually glad that Otis kind of fleshing out the other supernovas and giving all of them shine instead of just focusing on like the main three.
Yeah. I need my Scratchman of Pooh. That's all I want.
No, he's going to put in work. I mean,
Exactly.
He's already pushing him hard.
I mean, he has to. You made him so cool looking. He has to deliver on that one.
I'm waiting for Hawkins. That's who I'm waiting for. I'm like, yes.
I don't know, man. I think he'll be okay.
Don't be hating on Hawkins. Don't be hating on him.
I'm not hating on him. I think he'll be okay. I mean, his power demands that he's okay. All right, he can't be anything worse than serviceable.
Yo, that sounds awful though. He's going to be that dude. You wait and see. He's going to be you stepping up to me.
No, but he seems like a defensive fighter too.
Yeah, but a better one.
A better one.
And this has come from someone who's actually hyped for Capone since day one.
I see.
And last but not least, Bonnie hype and Rouge hype.
Rouge is warranted. Bonnie, again, the female thing. We'll see.
Well, I think I've said this before. I think she's going to be more relevant plot wise, not power wise. I'm still
that
waiting
tends to be the case.
I'm waiting for her to see if she's gonna have any ties to Big Mom because there's been like some hints that she has, but she has yet to make an appearance in this arc.
I wouldn't be surprised if she was Lady Caramel.
You really think she is?
I mean, if you think about it, the way she can age and transform, and if you look at Lady Caramel in her youth, though Oda tends to draw his females the same, that does look like Julia Bonnie to me. I think if we get once we see the actual, what?
All right.
Mm-hmm. That once you see the actual anime of Caramel, if she has pink hair, you know what that is.
Actually, Tekken was talking. Actually, Tekken made a video about that. That he believes that Mother Caramel is Bonnie. But here's my thing, though. In order for that to work now, she would have to still be alive. Because do you think she actually got eaten?
I see your point. We will have to see. Only Straussen knows, and one other, and the Giants.
I mean, it's still possible because we really don't know what actually happened to them.
Exactly.
And I think Oda did that on purpose. Also,
Right.
to kind of leave room just in case if he does want her to be Bonnie, so he doesn't have to be like a plot hole. Like,
Right.
oh wait, wait, that doesn't make any sense. How can she be?
See, it would have made.
That's well played.
See, the idea is the reason why we can only speculate. There was no blood,
Yeah.
so that's the big saving grace. If there was blood, you'd be able to come to that conclusion very quickly.
Yeah, plus, like I said, it's smart from a writing standpoint because just in case he wants to change his mind on, like they say, he did decide for her to originally be eaten, but he decided to change his mind on that. He can
Indeed.
do it. He can do it without it having to be a a plot hole.
Right.
Basically, not putting yourself in, not writing yourself into a corner.
Exactly. Maintaining the flexibility that he needs. If he wants to alter something in the story, he can without it destroying the general trajectory of the story.
See, that was the problem with Kubo. He kept writing himself in the corners where in order to fix things, he had to like retcon stuff and just create plot holes, or just drop stuff altogether.
Well, again, when you are doing something that no one else is, you can be afforded some of those.
Yeah, but with him, he kind of continuously did it, and it's usually with the same thing. So it's kind of like one of those he didn't really learn his lesson as time went on.
Sorry, I was just about to say he didn't learn from his mistakes. Understood.
No, yeah, because one of the main characters had this like broken ability. Like her powers basically reject God's will. So her power basically restore anything back to the original state. And she made this claim that she was going to destroy the Hogyoku, which is this thing that the main villain had to awaken an army of monsters, kind of something similar to like the Chimera ants, whatever. But and actually make himself more powerful. She had the opportunity to destroy it, and she had like an inner monologue that she was going to do it, and she never does it. It just completely drops. And on top of that, the power worked inconsistently. Like there are times where she's supposed to be able to heal people, and it doesn't work because plot. Because of how broken the ability was, like it was literally broken to the point where it would break the plot. And you would think he will learn this lesson from that, but he doesn't because he makes the main villain even more broken. Did you know the final villain of the series had the power to? I told this to you. He has the power to not only see the future, but see every possible future and manipulate the future, even the ones in which he died. How do you beat something like that?
You don't.
And on top of that, he can also negate other people's abilities, including people who can actually counter his. Now that is right. Is that not writing yourself into a corner?
Yeah.
At that point, the only way you could get defeated is through Deus Ex Machina, which is exactly what happens.
Well, all right. I do have to get going at that point. I'm mad that you left. We have to leave on that note. I do have to call it a close for today.
Well, I guess that's fine. That's basically my closing arguments. So basically, what I'm saying is that Oda's a good writer. Togashi's a good writer. Togashi, he's a solid writer, but he can use some work, but he's getting better, I think.
No, okay. One thing we are not going to do is say that Togashi does not write. I think his writing is outpaces Oda's. I honestly think so. Straight up.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that too. But you know what I'm saying, though.
If you're talking about his artwork and consistency, that's totally different. But
No.
his writing, it's borderline flawless.
No, I'm basically great writers, whatever. You get what I'm saying.
Yes.
Someone, but there's no hating on them. So anyway, that's about that. Remember, next week there's no chapter of our stream. He's just probably gonna be just discussing general One Piece stuff and maybe a Hunter x Hunter stuff.
Sounds good to me.
Because he said he wants to do say, just to get people caught up because it's been a while. So that's gonna be fun.
That sounds good. I'm looking forward to it.
It's also supposed to be doing one too, so look out for that. I'll definitely be in the chat if I. So if you see me
I won't say anything.
trolling in the chat,
I won't say anything.
or you can help, or you can join in.
Nah, I can't unleash that on YouTube. Too many people know me. I can't do that.
What? All right. Well, thanks for coming.
Indeed. Take care of yourself.
You can sign out and thank you for watching, everybody. Rate, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you again soon. Have a good night.
Love, peace, and hair grease.